Hello, friends, family, and strangers. Nice to meet you. My name's Doug. I'm sitting here in my front room, just chillaxing. It's very comfortable in this van. I have my cup holders here, got my water, my iced coffee, a little spot for my phone and my wallet. I got my laptop computer in this briefcase and stuff. And we're just kicking back, chillaxing, right outside of my hotel room. Check this out, dude. Getting ready to head to work. Sorry, I couldn't think of what I was saying. Getting ready to head to work and rock that shit out. And I was just thinking, this van will work out pretty nice as a bedroom in my new house. You see, we are getting ready. Me and you are gearing up to move into a garage barn that we will convert into a beautiful home. But the first few nights, at least, we will be sleeping when I decide I stay out in that specific area and I'm not somewhere traveling or at a hotel somewhere or whatever. We'll be van lifing it up on a piece of property that I own, sleeping back there. I'm going to build a bed. I'm going to make a cool bed build video, camper conversion, van conversion thing video out of it, and all kinds of fun content's coming, so even the trendy kind. So I thought I would just share that with you to say that this is a little glimpse into a portion of our future together right here on Dougalo Nation. In the meantime, we'll do all kind of stuff, and I'll take you along for the ride. But in this video, I'm not sure exactly. It's nice to just let the marbles stop rolling where they wish. But so far, I'm pretty sure that in this video, we will fade into obscurity, accomplish nothing. Just kidding. We're actually going to do a lot more moving and chillaxing around town. I'm going to take you around this hotel, show you a couple spots right next to where I'm at. I just realized today, and I've been here for 2 days now, I just realized today that that building is an Aldi's grocery store. So when I'm in my room and my refrigerator doesn't work and I wish I had something cold to drink, I'll just pop over there. And, you know, there's a gas station over that way. And this place has a pool and all that fun stuff. So on this beautiful episode, we'll check out a couple spots around here and we'll move some stuff into storage. And I will give you any late-breaking announcements on some travel plans coming up and any late-breaking announcements on what's going on with me and the acquisition of my new property and the letting go of my old pad. So please, gather your things and let's do this.
You're a loser.
Just drove past the new house and I can already tell it's going to be a back and forth of mixed emotions when I finally move in, as far as, do I convert the garage barn, or do I restore the house room by room over time? Because from the outside, the structure of the house looks good. So I don't know. Should we be turning the power onto the house and garage, or just having them install a new power meter on the garage only and bulldozing that house? A lot of pinballs bouncing around an old dude's head, you know what I'm saying? But someone has left the walk-through garage door open, wide open, for critters and vagrants to get inside and run amok all over my new garage. And I went there and walked inside of it once. And ever since then, I've had this vision of how big that garage barn is. Well, upon second, third look here, ain't that big. It's the size of a 2-bay garage with like a little sliver bathroom on the side. So the whole thing might become a house. And the neighbor has a garage in the back because those like 3 lots have a street right up on the property line, front and back. And mine has a 3rd street on the side. I have kind of like an alley that goes down to connect the 2 streets. So I'm like street side on 3 sides of the land. But anyways, I might copycat the neighbor and build a nice metal exterior pole barn type of garage, whatever you call it, and it faces the back side of the property, going out into that street back there. Not really sure how to describe that because I've never lived in that particular setup before, but the yard looks better than I remember. We came out and looked at the house kind of on a cold, rainy, sloshy day, but the yard looks good. There's a nice like concrete pad where there probably was a shed, and I think they just use that as like a stick burning spot or something, because there's a big pile of brush there. So I'm excited to take another look at the house here in a couple weeks, do a proper long full walkthrough, and take better pictures this time, see where we need to start, baby. Another thing I noticed is that the real estate sign doesn't say in contract on it. I guess it shouldn't matter, because if anyone calls about it, then they want that person's name and number for if the deal falls through. So maybe that's why they don't put the in contract on the sign. But it used to be really common. As soon as the property goes into contract, then they add that to the top of the sign. This is now in contract, so it's no longer on the open market. But here's our information anyways. So I guess it doesn't matter, but it is weird. I guess I'm not used to that, because I'm pretty sure you would always see that get added to the real estate sign out front. Anyways, yeah, and stuff. And just like that, friends, through the power of movie magic, it is dark outside. I bet you can't guess where I'm going. Back to the hotel to take a nice shower and a nice, beautiful springtime nap. Then you and I have to get up on the bright, get us some breakfast, head to the now old house, and pack up more crap. Probably going after some flat screen TVs in the morning. But before that, I want to tell you a little story about a woman whose life was at a crossroads and she didn't even realize it. She was driving down the road on her way to work, and she made the choice to look for some chapstick while driving in her purse, and she didn't do a very good job at it. She had her eyes down too long. At that moment, a deer came out, and she nailed that deer on the side, and it totaled her Corolla. As a result, she was late for work, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back at work. Her boss brought her into the office and said, "You are fired. There's just way too many incidences with you, and this one is the last one I'm going to tolerate." So she went home early because she couldn't work out her shift at her job. And when she arrived at home, she realized her husband was entertaining a guest that he had no business entertaining. And it was clear at that point that he was breaking their exclusive agreement within their relationship, and he was cheating on her. As a result of that, she left and embarked on a great adventure that irreversibly changed her life. All because she reached for that chapstick in her purse instead of waiting. Now, I say she was at a crossroads and didn't realize it. Because if she would not have reached for the chapstick, she would not have hit the deer. She would have saw it coming, would have hit the brakes instead of hit the deer. She would have been on time for work, would not have been fired, would have worked out a full shift that day and would not have come home early, and would not have known that her husband was cheating. She would have been none the wiser, which means she would have ended her night with her husband in sweet naivety. And what's the word I'm looking for? There's naivete and there is ignorance. Well, she wouldn't have known any better, so that's definitely not. Ignorance is intentional when you ignore something and act ignorant of it. But she would have lived in this, she would have been naive to the real facts. And if any clues were there, she wouldn't have noticed because her husband had been cheating for some time and she never noticed before. And she wouldn't have got upset and she wouldn't have taken off on this road trip with her grandmother that irreversibly changed her life. Meaning nothing can return to the way it was after these adventures that she went on. Now, when it comes to something like that, the point is, little things can lead to big things. Okay? Little things can lead to big things. My life and many elements of my life have changed in the short term and will change forever as a result of me calling this realtor just about a week ago. I think it's 8 days now. 8 days ago. 8 calendar days. I called this guy, and as a result, my house is in contract, and my new house is in contract, and a lot of things will change. But is it just that? It's not like I fell into his trap and now I got caught up in the whirlwind. It's not just that, friends. It's also the fact that it came equipped with my personality, who was contemplating this change, and the time is now. The time is perfect in every category. The time to strike while the iron is hot is right now. So little things make a big difference. I didn't, quote unquote, pull the trigger on this project. Though I studied it, contemplated it, asked about it, and researched it, all the things you would want to do when you convert to a full-time vanner, van lifer, couch surfer, the occasional camper, and hotel dweller, etc. It all started when I asked the first question, the very first question. If you don't live anywhere, what do you put on your license? Eventually, it led to me on the phone at the DMV, and I was told through passing the phone around to this manager, that manager, this manager, that technically to be a licensed driver in the state of Ohio but be homeless as shit, you would have to maintain a bed at a homeless shelter, or at least let them pretend that you do on paper. I think that is a flaw in the law. I think you should be well within your rights to do what you want. Every juvenile child has an address, and most adults have a previous address. So if you choose not to live anywhere, you should still be allowed to drive. I don't believe you can get a valid driver's license if you just simply do not have a physical address. But that is an excellent question now that I'm thinking of it. What about just seeing what they say if you don't have an address? Well, anyways, I lost my train of thought. It basically came down to, well, you would have to maintain a bed or at least get a representative at the shelter to pretend that you maintain a bed at that shelter. And what I was going to say before I lost my train of thought is I believe the law should change where if you just don't want to live anywhere and you live in a van down by the river and you park in 24-hour public parking spots at night and you do a little camping and you work and maintain yourself or whatever the case may be, maybe you have an income and don't have to work, whatever, your license should just say last known address on it. And that should be one of your identifiers. Your license is your ID. And really your ID is more of an ID than a driver's license. Your ID just happens to indicate whether you are a driver or non-driver. But really it's more of an ID card because it has identifiers on it about you. Your social security number, your date of birth, your height, your eye color, whether you're a donor or not, your last known address if it was my way, your current address if it's the current way, and whatever else I forgot. Okay? All of these things are to identify you. Especially your social security number, because hard to repeat that one legitimately. As in, no two people are supposed to have the same one. But can two people have the same eye color, the same address, and blah, blah, blah? Absolutely. And even the same exact name, start to finish. Especially the real popular names. But anyways, I said all that to tell you that little things can lead to big things. It was me thinking about all this for the last few years and really wanting to do it that came into alignment with this chance call to this realtor. And he was the one who showed me that right now is the right time. Right now is the lucky break to go ahead and make this happen. If I wouldn't have called him that day, I wouldn't have learned that. And I wouldn't have went for it. See, I went for it because I've been preparing to go for it and waiting for the right moment for the last 2 or 3 years. But I also wouldn't have went for it because I wouldn't have known that it's the right time, this right time that I've been looking for 2 years. It was a combination of studying it, wanting to do it, and then circumstantially learning that the time was now. Does that make sense? And the little things lead to big things. Calling him was a little thing. But the only reason I called him is because I noticed a house right where I wanted to live if I were to move out of my current place, basically. And the only reason I noticed his sign that day is because I happened to be nearby filling up my water jugs. The only reason I had to fill up water jugs is because my well went out at my property, which was circumstantial. My reaction to that was to get water down at the spring, which caused me to see that. Me thinking about this for the last couple of years because of my struggles with the mortgage and struggles with the house itself caused me to call about that house. I didn't think I would hear anything good, but the curiosity was getting to me. And we've just been in a whirlwind ever since. That's why I'm in a hotel tonight, because I moved out of my place because they got contractors coming in and looking at it and stuff, and someone's going to flip it, blah, blah, blah. And if I didn't already tell you, I'm pretty sure I did, but if I didn't already tell you, I now have a closing scheduled for that house and my new house all in one pop. I'm pretty sure I told you that. Sorry if I'm repeating myself in this video or in these last couple videos. And it's just like, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. You have days where there's no activity, and then boom, good morning, this is what's happening here in your future, this, and this. You're all set. This came through, this person came through for you, and that's happening. So, all at once. It's about positioning yourself in the right place and then waiting for the right time. Let me say that again for people in the back row asleep. It is about you taking action. Shout action. Amen. Taking action, putting yourself in the right place. Then, once you are there, you have to be patient and wait for the right time. Also, I can tell you this. You don't always have to wait for the right time. If you want to get started early and force things to happen, you certainly can. Just remember, don't ever apply that principle to other human beings. If you want to make something happen, whether it's the right time or not, you certainly can, as long as you're talking about you and what you can control and what you can do, because only you can control you. But if you're trying to make something happen that involves the will and effort and loyalty and love of another person, then you're only going to be frustrated, because no one is going to do what you want them to do exactly the way you want them to do it, because they don't live in your brain the way you live in your brain. You feel me? That's my lecture for tonight. And that was a good thing to take up some time, because we're almost home. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that whole story I told you about that chick who was late for work, and how I compared it to the parables of being at a crossroads, even one you're not really aware of. I got all that actual storyline from a movie called Tammy, starring Kathy Bates and Melissa McCartney and Susan Sarandon and Dan Aykroyd and some other motherfuckers. Well, I managed to hit snooze until 10:05. Let's go see if there's still any breakfast downstairs, but I ain't holding out hope. But you know what there is downstairs, across the street? Waffle House. I missed the continental breakfast, guys. 2 mornings in a row, I done missed that shit. That ain't like me. Normally food motivates me to get straight the fuck up out of bed and get down there no matter how tired I am. I'll try again tomorrow, but I can't promise nothing, guys. I'm sorry. I know you're wanting to eat, but sacrifices gotta be made. I work and work late, and sometimes I stay up late checking my Plenty of Tenders Christian Mangles, and can't really get around to, sleeping on time and things, or I stay up late finalizing a video for us to enjoy and coverbolate together. Anyways, you guys be good. I gotta wash up my derriere and probably head out. I would stop at the Waffle Hut, like I said, but when you go in there and sit down, you're kind of at the mercy of your server's time frame, and I need to place my order as soon as I get in. I need to eat, and I need to throw money on the table and bounce out that bitch right away. You can't do all that. It's not how it goes, dude. You gotta wait for them to come around to cash out and all that stuff. So it's a tricky world out here for a fool. You know what I'm saying? Let's pop in here to the wee old Aldi's right by my hotel. See if they have any quick and go breakfast items. I've been sampling my breakfast. Not a bad alternative. Pretty darn tasty. And I'm assuming a little bit healthier than the eggs and ham I was about to eat. But we are old house bound to get a TV loaded up, possibly 2, and whatever else we can cram in there before the deadline, and I need to head back. We'll see. I should just take my almond walnuts and raisins into work, and so far that's all I've eaten today, and I should keep it like that for the whole day. I can polish off about a quarter or half of that bag in one day, because you only eat a couple bites and you don't want to eat more because they're fucking walnuts and almonds and raisins. It's not like a glistening hamburger with freaking horseradish sauce and onion petals that you can't stop eating and you just want to eat and eat and eat and eat like I do right now. So this might be a good diet plan for me. One, I don't have time to eat anything other than while I'm driving. And two, I'm such a fat ass lately. Like, my weight has freaking quintupled in the last 3 days. I'm stress eating, I'm eating all the time, plus I'm feeling positive and good, which makes my appetite stronger. I just need to tap into more self-discipline, whether it's there or not. Ow, would you look at that? Construction for days. Ow! Same kind of construction they're going to be doing on my old house to make it not a shit hole anymore. Ah, look at that, the trucks are going. All the reacher, grabber, picker upper, big machines. Ow, right beside us like we're getting our own amusement ride. This experience back at the old house will be weird because the deal is done. In 2 weeks, it will belong to someone else. So, do you clean with as much care as you would when you're hoping they'll still buy it? Do you make repairs at all? Or do you simply not give a chips because they've already bought it? You're repairing someone else's house at that point. You certainly don't mow the yard. Charade. And the trash cans are at the end of the driveway. Do I even bring them back? Or I just call the trash people and be like, hey, you can shove those cans up your fucking arse. You have to stay in the car. I'm sorry. You really can't help old dad with this one because there's just not enough time to fuck with yins. Alright, dude. Alright, dude. I need to load up the TV, dude. And strap it in. Then I need to try to put crap all around it so I don't waste my gas money. Max out with your rack out. You know what I'm saying? So, you waiting here? Thought I saw a big turtle or something. I wonder if it'll hit me later like, man, I gave up my place. Not really. I feel very confident that the land I've already bought, the land that I'll be on, will solve so many problems. All the problems that new place solves will help me very quickly forget about my 6-year money pit disaster experience. Got me an Amazon package, boys. The only reason it's in this trunk because I had to get my tool to get her open, boys. But look, want to know what it is? I'll tell you. Giant pack of basketball shorts, boys. And look, check this out, dude. You ready? Portable Blu-ray players with a bunch of dirt and scuff on it. Oh, I don't want to know the story behind that. Both of these items can go back with me into the hotel room. Not that I'll have time to actually use them, but while van lifing, this will be a good item, obviously. And I need these because I need to, at some point, take the tags and everything off of them and throw them in the dirty clothes. You should never wear new clothes until you wash them first. See this foam stuff on the floor? And this foam stuff in the hallway on the floor? That is, I'm no detective, but my determination is that's from the attic. Because when they went to do their first walkthrough after already agreeing to buy the joint, they went up into the attic. There and up there. But my TV was not stolen, so I am a happy camper. I sent my realtor pictures of the zero-turn lawnmower because he wants to buy it. I paid $3,000 for it. Only used it for 2 summers, like 1.5 summers. So I threw out the price of $1,700. In my opinion, if that same lawnmower were sitting in the dealership for the 2 years waiting to be sold, I highly doubt they would want so much less than $3,000 that I paid for it. And I used it for 2 summers. So did it lose like $500-$600 in value per summer, or whatever it is, $7,000 or $700 each summer? No. From where I'm sitting, and I don't know what all you're supposed to factor in, but from where I'm sitting, $1,700 is fair for a $3,000 Cub Cadet zero turn that's barely been used. He goes, I like it and I want it for my mom, but I'm not sure I want to spend $1,700 on it. I was thinking more about reducing my commission. That way you have money in your pocket. If that's not salesmanship 101, I don't know what is. First of all, it's insulting that he believes I'm stupid. You not handing me $1,700, but taking $1,000 or $900 off your commission only puts $1,000 or $900 in my pocket instead of the $1,700 in my pocket. But instead of getting into that with this guy, I said, what price do you think is fair? The shit ringer, though. I'm not taking it either way. A friend of mine is interested in it as well. And I'll let him come and get it. Probably at a much cheaper price than this guy. Because I want my friend to have it for a price that he can feel very comfortable with, because I want that for him, for my friend. So I'm interested to see the price that he thinks is fair. And the only reason I asked him is because he asked me about it first before my friend did. So, but if he's like, I was thinking about knocking $600 off my commission and taking it for that, the answer is no. I'm going to see if my friend wants it for somewhere between $1,000 and $1,700. We'll go from there. If I spent $1,000 a summer to mow the grass and you now get a zero turn that's damn near still new for $1,000, that's because we're friends. If we're not friends and you don't need to save the money in the first place and you're starting to talk to me like I'm silly, then we motherfucking got a problem, bro. He wants to take $500 off the broker fee and $500 off his commission. So I set the price at $1,700. He wants it for $1,000. So he wants to save $700 off of using fancy wordplay. I can appreciate the hustle, but my friend wants it too. And he'd probably be more than happy to give me more, and I wouldn't even want him to give me more. So, but I also don't want to make a fuss over it, really, because it's no big deal to me either way. So it's a tricky spot. But I told him, so you only want it for $1,000. A 2-year-old Cub Cadet, that's $3,000. You want a $2,000 discount on it. You were already going to get a $1,300 discount on it because it's gently used. I said, I didn't say all that, but I said, you want it for $1,000. I'll have to think on that one. I was highly considering giving this man a gift as a token of my appreciation for his great work. I'm not going to say hard work, because the man doesn't work hard. The man works hard with his mind and with his knowledge. Blah, 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 blah. But from one businessman to another, I was highly considering saying, "Do you drink whiskey? What's the conversation piece I can put into your life so you feel great about our transaction together?" Because I know I do. So I went ahead and told him, "You know what? As a token of my appreciation for your great work, I'll go ahead and say yes. Come and get it, though, yourself. And don't open the garage door from the outside, because it is a backbreaker waiting to happen." This heavy-ass TV, dude. It's in, baby. Whew! It's heavy as shit. These were like $30 each, I do believe, when I bought them. Well worth it. Well worth it. I kept this squeezy, what was supposed to be a camping couch, but it was a total joke. You couldn't even sit on it without falling right into the crack of it and everything. So I cut it into the two sections so I can keep it as giant fluffers for moving a van. Moving a TV is what I'm trying to say. Got the TV and the TV stand and about 75% of the books in this room all packed up and put in the shit box, which feels like a drop in the bucket. This house gets bigger every time I come here because I realize how much shit a person acquires in 6 years of having a house. I'll tell you what, we're getting storms tonight potentially. And I don't need these trash cans to go back to the house. What I need to do is make a phone call and tell them to come pick them up. See the police cars? I'm pretty sure this is the intersection where there were a bunch of police last night. And look, all the policemen's on the sidewalk out in front of that house. I can only imagine what must have went down there last night. Ooh, probably not something good, boys. So I'm hauling that ridiculously huge 85, 86, how many ever inch TV flat screen down this street. And that TV has made a trip up and down this street in this van like literally 8 times because it was going back and forth from the house to the apartment because I wanted to give up my house and was just going to live in the apartment but could not man up and have a landlord. I just couldn't do it. I don't want a landlord. It's just it crashes the server in my brain. It's a program that just crashes my system. So I kept going back and forth, but I kept trying to rationalize and figure out a way to do it, and I just couldn't make myself do it. I just chickened out and broke my lease, as you saw like 40 episodes ago. So it's funny because now this TV is traveling down this road for its very last time in history. And yes, obviously it's not going to an apartment. It's going about an hour in that direction this time. Instead of like 15 minutes, it's traveling an additional hour than its normal travel down this direction. And going into a storage unit. And then, in a couple weeks, it'll be going into my new house. Just popped into the old Burger Kinks because it's on the way. And it's like, yeah, it's on the way. Anything else would be a waste of time. But my cardiac arrest, that'll probably be a big delay in my schedule as well. So we'll see, one day at a time. But anyways, they flame broil their meat in theory, and you can often see smoke coming out of the building somewhere. And like when I was waiting on my food, my van was surrounded in smoke, but it smelled like food smoke, like really good. It didn't smell like my vehicle was on fire, but it still made me worry, guys. And speaking of my vehicle, remind me to stop and get gas. You know, I really wish I could call off work about every other day or so these next 2 weeks and focus on moving. Just like I'll feel a lot better when I get the closing scheduled. Just like I'll feel a lot better when the guy actually gave me the money. I'll feel a lot better if we can actually take a look at this house and I can make an offer. Well, just like all of those times, now I'm focused on the next thing, which is I'll feel a lot better when I get all my crap out of that house. It'll be the next step completed. But I don't have that luxury of taking days off right now. I did schedule a day coming up that should be a day I need off if the closing of both of these properties basically is in the afternoon or late afternoon. If that takes place and that is better for everyone, then I'm going to be available. So that's why I went ahead already last night, as a matter of fact, and requested that particular day off of work. And I will get that day off work. I'll get that day paid off work. I already know that because I checked our system, etc., etc. It was literally my goal this year to work and complete every available working day this year. And when I set that goal, I thought there had to be a very, very damn good excuse for me to break that goal and reset it for next year. And I think this qualifies, right? It's not just me closing on selling my place. It's also apparently going to be within arm's length meeting of all three parties involved. That would be me as a seller, and me as a buyer, the buyer of my old place and the seller of my new place. Also in these meetings, mortgage company representatives are often there. In that case, it would be if the buyer of my new place has a mortgage company representative, then that person will be there as well, but really just in that same party. That doesn't create a fourth party. The parties are me as the buyer and seller of two different properties, and the buyer of my old property and the seller of my new property. And that could be the potential buyer could have their mortgage lender representative with them in their party, along with also their realtor will most likely be there. So that is that party. My party will consist of me, potentially my realtor, although I would not be surprised in the slightest if he said, "Go get him, champ. I'm going to be over here doing something else today." And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Just knowing him, I would not be surprised in the slightest. That will be who is in my party. I don't know if I'll have everything I need to have on my own or if my realtor will need to be there. Last time I bought a house, my realtor was there with me, guiding me through. But really, the title office, escrow office, whatever you want to call it, that clerk or that worker does everything. And when I bought my property 6 years ago, the person who presided over the entire meeting and handled all the papers and had everybody sign the right stuff was actually the mayor of Delaware County, Ohio. Or did I say mayor of the county? I'm trying to remember if it was the mayor of the city of Delaware or somebody who runs the county, which I guess would be what, the sheriff? She wasn't the sheriff, so she might have been the mayor of the city of Delaware, probably. something like that. But she was kind of a big deal. She had many leather-bound books in her personal office. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the other party will be the seller of my new place, which will consist of them, or the one person, and most likely their real estate agent as well. So apparently, all of this will happen in one meeting, and that's supposed to happen in 2 weeks. So, and I don't know what time yet. I haven't spoken to anyone at the title office yet, but I will be. That's going to be my next clerical goal soon, is to get them on the phone a couple times to reconfirm everything. The big part is I want to know, does my real estate agent need to be there? And if so, will he? And also, the most important thing, I want to make sure I have everything I need to have in my possession. Not just my handsome good looks and my firm muscular buttocks and my six-pack of abs, but also I want to make sure I have like my proper credentials. And, you know, an ink pen with plenty of good ink in it, and a blindfold, like I said, so I can just blindfold myself, reach out my hand with an ink pen and say, all right, place my hand where it needs to go and tell me when to start signing, baby. I got 40 minutes to relocate all that crap and that heavy-ass jumbo screen TV into there and get my work shoes on. I think in 40 minutes I can pull that off. But you wouldn't believe how many times I've said that and ended up shitbag late. All these books were in one tote box because I'm a ding-ding and I pretty much got a hernia trying to put it into the van. So I took way too much time to get stacks of them individually out to stack them up here, to move them gradually so I didn't hurt my precious back again. But yeah, that ate up all my time, and now I have 20 minutes left to deal with the TV, baby. And just like that, friends, for the second time in today's video, it is dark out. And literally about 30 seconds ago, before I started saying these words, a deer collided with the front of my van just now. That's why my heart is racing, because it scared me out of nowhere. Ping! And I barely hit the back of her ass on the left front corner of the bumper there. I heard it hit, but I have no idea if that deer is okay or not, because it was already shoot across and out of there. It went bling, ping, hit the front bumper and kept rocking. And my headlights look the exact same, so I know I'm fine. The van appears to be running, so we're good there. If anything, there is going to be a little dent in the front bumper, but on this van, the headlights are up pretty high. The headlights literally sit higher up than the top of the back of the deer. So, yeah, I'm awake now. That was jarring. But anyways, soon we're going to have to wrap this up. But for now, I'm heading back to the hotel for my last night at this particular hotel. I've kind of been weighing the options. There's a little deal going on with work where I'm not sure if I'll need to report for duty after tomorrow night or not. It's kind of a toss-up at the moment. So I thought maybe I wouldn't get a hotel next, just head back to the house and camp out for a couple days. But all things considered, yeah, like even my space heaters and stuff are in storage now, and just everything had to come out of there basically, and I just wanted to get it done. So however, I think I am going back into the house for another week. So next time I'm at my storage unit, I'll get like basically my bag of blankets with my heated blanket and my sleeping bag, and I need to find my space heaters just for camping it out in the bedroom, and that's it. But that bedroom itself will be depressing. The only thing in there up until leading into those last days will just be the bed itself and my blankets on it, and probably a box beside the bed to act as a temporary nightstand, because everything else will be gone. The dresser, the TV. Not that I had much time to watch TV in there anytime lately anyhow, but the lamp's already gone out of there. The house is depressing because it is, as you already know, getting more empty each day, my friends. But the reason I say all that is because the next 3 nights after tonight, hoteling it up in a different hotel is something I would like to do. Mostly for funsies, but because I just got a lot going on. Moving, working, running back and forth, literally like an hour stretch from West Ohio to East Ohio, right down the center line, baby. And it is so nice to be able to start your shower at the turn of a knob. When I'm busy like this, then the hotel is the alternative, unless I'm already set up with a really functional working camp, like I will be at my new place, and like I would be if I had like in advance rented a camp spot or had a camper with all the amenities already in it, etc., which this van is not yet, but we're getting there. So a lot of pinballs in the old Duder's machine, you know what I'm saying, bouncing around. A lot of things to conquer right now. But anyways, keep your spirits bright, because we are headed back to the hotel for our last night there. And here in the coming days, we will switch gears. We'll get a whole new room, a whole new fresh room to take a look at, for me to walk around in the buff in and to buff it out in, to take Doug Jr. to Tuggy Town, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you're coming over to take it to Tuggy Town for me. Whatever happens in this new room stays in this new room. On this particular night in history, the sun, moon, or rather the sun, earth, and moon, I just want to say those in order. The sun, earth, and moon are in alignment, creating a lunar eclipse tonight. And I believe I am drenched in cloud cover where I'm at. However, when we park, I will look around to see if I can get lucky and see it. And then the real lucky part will be if I can get it to show up in the camera properly. This camera is designed for looking out in a room, basically. It's not designed for nature shots of any kind, and it's also designed for presenting someone talking closely. Presenting. It is not good for the stars. The stars or the moon. The moon, if you noticed tonight, if you're on the Western Hemisphere, will be red in color. It'll look like a miniature Mars up in the sky. It'll have a red glow and red hue on its person. Been dreaming of this bed all day. I do love this hotel, and I do like this room, except for one thing. When I came in just now, I saw a roach, a full-blown roach on the wall, and I was kind of halfway surprised because like this hotel's kept up pretty well. But it does like reek like weed all over the hood. I'm pretty sure everyone in here who stays here except for myself blazes and blitz their skull in half every night with pot. So what I'm saying is, like, that smell kind of comes with a lack of ambition, and a lack of ambition can sometimes have a cockroach or two involved in that equation. So I'm gonna sleep in the roach coach tonight. There was literally a cockroach, and here's the part where I should probably tell you what I did. I immediately took the bottom of my flip-flop and smashed it while it was on my foot. I just kind of, because it was going fast. It was trying to get away from me, and it was like, you didn't notice me. You didn't notice me, and it was walking down the side of the wall over there. Where's the TV at? Okay, that's the TV. Right there. Right there. See that wall right there that I'm touching? I'm pinching that little side wall. It was walking down that wall quick and in a hurry, and I smashed it because I didn't want it to go and make little cockroach babies in my ear and shit, or my pee hole while I'm sleeping the night. So that's that. And yeah, if this were like my 12-month leased apartment, then I would just put glue traps out. You know what I mean? But one of the many fun things about hotel life / van life is you just leave when something's kind of cringy like that. Ew, a roach. A roach. I'm the only roach supposed to be in here. See my roach face? That's my roach face. Anyways, and speaking of cleanliness, you know, this will make my third night here at this particular hotel, and no one has popped in to tidy up my room. I don't need it like tidied up. I shouldn't say it that way. What I mean, like, really is, like, if you could grab the towels and replace them, and maybe pull at least one trash and then replace the trash bag, that would be great. And on one hand, I'm kind of glad that no one's been in here because, you know, like, my shit's in here. But on the other hand, that would be nice. It would be, I mean, if someone's here for a long time, like me, I stayed like 1,100 days. You know, can you throw your boys some towels once in a while? But I did pack some, I guess, technically. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to miss this room, I guess. Not really, because I'm getting a different one tomorrow. Isn't that exciting? We're going to go from this room to that room and stuff. So here's the game plan, friends. I did not reserve online. I'm purposely just going to go in when I'm ready to check in, which should be around 2-ish in the afternoonish, because I do want some time to get into the room and get ready for my day, the evening part of my day, which would be work. I got Cheeto dust in my ears, or in my finger, but I don't want to get it in my ears, well, I should say, but I got a scratch in there, dude. Yeah, flick that right on the fucking bed, dude, for the next person. Who am I to judge? I don't want to deprive them of my ear dust. And the reason that's happening is because, well, first and foremost, I only reserved this bitch for 3 days, and I wasn't sure if I was staying longer or not, but I think I've decided to go ahead and try 3 more days. But since I am someone who tries to bring a visual change into my content once in a while, why not go across town slightly to a whole different hotel? Isn't that fun? And I would like to say that we'll walk around the area and we'll jump in the pool and all that stuff, which we'll probably still walk around the area at some point. I can almost promise that. But as far as jumping in the pool and getting blubbly and the blubbly and the hot tubly and all that stuff, unfortunately, this is one of those rare occasions where we are chillaxing at the hotel, but we're not actually chillaxing at all because we're not on any kind of freaking leisure trip or vacation. This is a work stay, meaning I am working 2 jobs essentially and staying here out of necessity, which is a bad reason to have a hotel room, ain't it? I know. It would be better if I were out of town, taking in the sights, making great memories with Bob here. And we were exploring a new place together and making great content out of it. And then staying at the hotel. But don't worry, because that is coming. I'm promising it because I can with confidence, unless I am dead before that happens within the next few days, then it's going to happen. So quit complaining. Get excited with your boy. But for right now, Dad's got to work. I'm sorry. And the reason I said 2 jobs is what I meant is my regular job, my regular ass job, which allows me to afford this luxury apartment. And my second job is moving out of my house. You know, my closing is on one day for selling my property. So far, at least. By the way, I want to talk to someone at the title office, and I want to ask them my questions. I don't want to do this through my realtor. I want to do this through them, the staff that are going to be there that day or at least work there. And I'm going to ask, can I sign everything on my end even if someone doesn't show up and everything still go? How does that fucking work? And the reason why that even comes up in question is because last time I did this, I just assumed everyone would be there because they were like reasonable people who have the whole process been there when they said and did what they said they were going to do. This time around, there's a lot more working parts, and half of them are flaky as motherfucker as far as when things are going to happen, and they don't, as you saw right here. I'm stood up or left in vague town every day on something when it comes to these deals. So I'm going to call the office, the title office, and I want to ask them for real skis. What if someone doesn't show up? Because I'm taking the fucking day off work. And speaking of that, what time is this supposed to happen? Because I'm taking the fucking day off work and breaking my goal for 2025, which is be there every day for work. And that was for financial reasons. I wanted to cash out my vacation time by not using it. Okay? There, I said it. Okay? I wanted to cash out my vacation time through inactivity, meaning I don't use it, it'll expire. And when it does, they cash them out and it goes on your check. Hello, big money. Got to have it. Yeah, yeah. So what I was saying about 2 jobs is I got my regular ass job, and then I got like my moving out of my house job, which reminded me about these closings. Apparently, allegedly, supposedly, so far as I understand it, my closing on the property I'm selling is going to be the same closing on the property I'm buying. According to my realtor, everything's taken care of, will be, in one meeting. Didn't know that was a thing, but I'm in. So in my case, I need to be completely moved out of one house while not being able to move it into a new house, because I won't have the new house until the very moment I don't have my old house. So where's my house in between? Well, it's a storage unit and it's a hotel / van, because I'm probably going to van it up for sure. And I have access to the house up until that day, but there's no couch. There's no lamps literally plugged in anymore. There's a bed, but there's no bed sheet with roaches on the bed. Isn't that weird? I come to a nice, expensive, expensive enough hotel where there is professionals that, as their job, they clean and maintain. There was guys outside painting the parking lot lines today. So this place is well maintained. And there's a roach. My house, that's falling apart. It's only me. I take a fucking shower out of a fucking bucket. No roaches in sight. Not a single one. Not a single one. And I'm out in the fucking boondocks. Whereas this hotel is right in the heart of the city. What city, you may ask? I ain't telling you what fucking city, because if you ain't figured it out, then good. I don't want the stalkers and stalkeries coming to get me. Okay? That's all I'm trying to say. Sorry about it. But anyways, isn't it fudged? Fudged that I have to be moved out of my house prior to being able to move into my new house. So I learned a valuable lesson. When I buy my property in Oregon, the place where I will grow old and die at, when I buy that place, I will buy that place straight up with my own money like I did this place, but it'll be better. Not this place, but the place that you're about to see when I move into it. Oh, my eyes hurt. That's what I did for this new place. I'm spending my own money. I'm not getting a mortgage. I'm not leased to own or nothing like that. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? I'm going to do that again for my old man retirement property out in Oregon. Okay? And of course you're coming with me. Duh. That's going to happen. But this property will be different. It'll be a big, beautiful lodge-style, cabin-style home with a big, beautiful basement for protecting me during storms. And it'll be on a large wooded lot, like anywhere from 5 to 10 acres probably. Heavily wooded. Away from the house several feet is where the wood line will start. The woods line will start. And my property elsewhere other than around the house will be heavily wooded. And I will heat my beautiful home out in Oregon on the rare cold night that's out there with wood. Got me? And of course, since I'm going to be rolling in the fucking dough, we got a backup furnace as well. You got me? So when that happens, I will apply the lessons I learned. I'm going to go out there and buy it first with you, of course. And we're going to hang out there. We're probably going to do a little shopping. But we're also going to come back, of course, to Ohio. And we're going to load up a giant ass truck and make at least one trip, maybe two, potentially three, but I highly doubt three. But we'll make at least one trip where my life is in that truck. And then, just for a content video, just for fun, just for content, I'll get public transportation back to get my vehicles and stuff like that. And then, when all that's done, then I'll sell my property here in Ohio. Whole separate ass transaction after I've already moved from one to the other. From one to the other. What do cows have? They have the udder, baby. Anyways, my midnight half asleep rant is over. And unfortunately, just as sure as SpongeBob was wearing a tie, this video, unfortunately, has to conclude. Mostly because I need to let my computer render this video as I'm pooping and showering to save time. Because I don't know if you noticed, but I've been sleeping through continental breakfast. I've had a dull headache because of fatigueness for days now. And can't wait for things to slow down so I can actually rest and then go do adventures with you, make content for it, and then rest some more again prior to running back out the door for work. That makes sense? I hope that did, because I'm like way fogging out right now. So if it didn't make sense, that's because I'm actually falling asleep before your eyes. Anyways, my friends, sorry if this one was lackluster. Is that how you say that? Lackluster. Lacking lust. So lackluster. Wouldn't it be lust lacking? Sorry if this was sparkling pixie dust lacking, this video. But we're kind of stuck with me doing all this busy work stuff and getting these deals going, getting this house emptied out. We're kind of just stuck here doing this. So this is a season in the show. It's history. And that season is moving houses, buying and selling land simultaneously, and beginning a van life story. Because that's what people call it when you travel, partially or fully live, and do vacations and road trips and film content in a van. They call it van lifing, boondocking, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it van lifing because that's just normally what I call it, you know what I mean? But yes, as you already know, we are venturing into a boondocking adventure. The only reason I bought land is because I need an address on my driver's license as I jet set around the world. I want to be able to not have to, I don't want any complications on the road, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to help me invest more, you know what I'm saying? And this new place is like hella close to where I work, which is going to solve a lot of problems until I don't need to work there anymore. And you get it, etc., etc. So with that all said, I'm stuck filming this particular content for you for just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. I promise that. But sometimes I think I should never mention stuff like that again, because some people love these adventures. Some people comment me in email and say, thank you for sharing this transition of your life with us. That is really cool. And I'm like, are you sure it's cool? Because to me, the content could be a lot more wow factor-ish. Overall, I think I'm a fun time no matter what's going on. If we sat here and I talked to you while we watched paint dry, I think you would still enjoy yourself. And I'm not trying to be freaking narcissistic. I'm just telling the truth. I think when I watch it back, I will laugh. I normally do. And I think you will as well. Not just laugh, but perhaps be learned up in something. Perhaps be exposed to a way of thinking that you might not have thought. Or maybe it's just comforting to hear my voice and let me share my ups and downs with you. But on that note, my friends, I'm sorry. This 19-minute and 30-second rant needs to conclude along with the conclusion of today's video. It is time. I'm sorry to say, it is time to piss on this fire and pack up this camp and head back to the hotel room. I've been Doug, and you've been the nation. Don't be a douche.